Hello and welcome to Mitv News at 6. I am Teresa Adeyemi. President Muhammadu Buhari has signed a bill to establish the Counseling Practitioners Council of Nigeria into law. The president also gave assent to 8 other significant bills. A statement issued by the Senior Special Assistant to the President of National Assembly Matters, House of Representatives, Honorable Nasir Babale Ila, on Monday stated that the council was charged with the responsibility of advancing the study, training, and practice of counseling profession. The chairman, the standard of knowledge and skill should be attained by persons seeking to become registered members of the counseling profession and review the standard as circumstances may require. Establish and maintain, in accordance with the provisions of this Act, a register of certified members of the profession and the publication of the list of such members. Also signed into law was the Nigeria Meteorological Agency Establishment Act 2022. Another bill signed by the President was the Pharmacy Council of Nigeria Establishment Act 2022. President Muhammadu Buhari on Tuesday met behind closed doors with the All Progressive Congress APC governors at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. The progressive governors were led to the meeting by the chairman, Progressive Governors Forum, PGF, and Governor of Kebbi State, Abubakar Bagudu. Also present were Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos, Dr. Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti, Abubakar Badaro of Jigawa, Dakwa Abiodun of Ogun, Abubakar Bello Inuwa Yahaya, Abdullahi Sule, and Deputy Governor of Ebonyi State, Dr. Eric Igwe. The agenda of the meeting was not made public, and the governors did not brief the press after the meeting that lasted about 30 minutes at the council chamber, Presidential Villa. The Director General of NCAA, Captain Musa Nuhu, on Tuesday threatened that the aviation regulator would not hesitate to suspend the certificate of air operators, the 14 airlines. He spoke at a briefing in Lagos with members of the airline operators of Nigeria and ground handlers. The regulatory agency said any indebted airline must enter into a memorandum of understanding for payment, noting that any airline that defaults 3 times will have its AOC suspended. Therefore, the said airline operators are painting government agencies black over their current woes. They said domestic airlines have collected over 19 billion naira and did not remit to the NCAA for onward distribution. Nuhu also hinted that the NCAA and other agencies are said to review agencies' charges after 13 years. The Group Managing Director, GMD of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPC, Mele Kyari, has disclosed that the importation of fuel will come to an end by second quarter of 2023. It said Nigeria, an oil-producing country, has been heavily dependent on the importation of petroleum products since its 4 major oil refineries have been underutilized. Kyari gave the assurance on Tuesday at the 49th weekly ministerial briefing organized by the presidential media team of the State House, Abuja. He said in the bid to deliver the repaired refineries, the federal government would be borrowing from Nexim the sum of $1 billion for the rehabilitation project. While lamenting that oil theft robs the country of at least 700,000 barrels per day, the group CEO said the gravest consequence is the degradation of the Niger Delta environment. It disclosed that 120 persons have been arrested for oil theft between April and August 2022.
Well, let us distinguish issues. When you say you are losing 700,000 barrels per day of crude oil, we mean it. This is opportunity lost. There is no company that will produce oil and then you lose 80% of that and continue to produce the oil. So we deliberately shut down the pipelines whenever we see these infractions getting to a limit that we cannot control, that are not possible to be managed. So that means as we speak today, we know for sure there is at least 700 lock-ins that we could have produced that we can't do because we cannot guarantee the safety of the pipeline. Of course, there are some technical issues. Needless to say that not 100% of that is due to theft. There are technical issues. We are responding to the technical issue, but majority of this is associated with reasons around crude oil theft. Now, when you say how much of it is stolen, And I've seen the statistics. It is impossible to have barges sailing 200,000 barrels per day. I agree with the Chief of Naval Staff. You need thousands of barges to do this.
The Center for the Promotion of Private Enterprises admonished the government to address the issue of insecurity while the players in the manufacturing industry need to be competitive. The Chief Executive Officer of CPPE, Dr. Muda Yusuf, was speaking at the business meeting of the Shippers Council and the Standard Organization of Nigeria SAN on the theme reducing logistic, transactions and associated costs for sustainable economic growth and improve competitiveness, urged them to broaden the perspective and thinking beyond this and begin to develop the continent and along global economies. Yusuf emphasized both the public and private sector organization to be competitive as he admonished government agencies to demonstrate better commitment to the economy integration. The Director General of SAN, Malam Farouk Salam, says the meeting with the Shippers Council was to strengthen collaboration with the agency in the area of offshore pricing. Salim hinted that SAN will soon add to the National Assembly for an amendment to its Act 2015 on the penalty charge on trade infractions so as to give a commemorative penalty to errant businesses. On a
citizen or a consumer is to introduce.
Honorable Emmanuel Jaim has said that smart technology has been identified as key to the sources of seaport and inland dry port operations in Nigeria and all over the world.
A citizen or a consumer is to introduce competition. It's more effective even than the regulator going after anybody. Once the competition is there, everybody will sit up. But if there is no competition, people will take advantage of their customers, of their clients, and there is very little you can do because we are dealing with monopolies. So we have to deal with issues of competition and creating a more competitive framework in the maritime sector.
The penalties we charge are determined by the Act, 2015 Reviewed Act of SON, and some of it at this moment is antiquated because the charges are not commensurate with the problems. So very soon we are going back to the National Assembly to readjust the penalties in such a way that it becomes a percentage, not a naira value, because 2015 naira is different from 2022 naira. But apart from that, we are working very hard to charge infractions, and we try our best to make sure it hurts in such a way that the people who are doing the infraction will not do it again.
That for a very long time, the process of cargo examination really has been bogged down in the manner in which we have conducted cargo examination. For too long it's been manual, which means that we're doing, in some cases, manual inspection of cargo, in a time and era where if you had scanners, it would be very, very easy for that same level of examination of cargo to be done.
There seems to have been succor on the way for millions of local farmers in Africa and particularly in Nigeria, as an humanitarian organization is partnering some financial institutions to provide them with grants worth $5 billion. Local farmers in Nigeria, particularly those in Osun State, stand the chance to be the first set of beneficiaries of the grant as the country is favored for the first tranche. The communication officer of one of the financial institutions, Joseph Idoni, made this disclosure in Osun State at a sensitization program held to enlighten prospective beneficiaries on conditions and how to get the grant. Idoni said the grant is targeted at addressing global food scarcity, particularly in Africa. Speaking, National President, New Dawn Humanitarian Foundation, Kinsley Ikemakonem, urged interested farmers to be sincere and consistent in applying for the grant. He noted that the organization will monitor and ensure that only eligible farmers get the grants and are judiciously invested only on farming purpose.
The whole idea behind this grant we're given is because of the food crisis we're currently experiencing in Africa and in the whole world at large. So we want to do something about this. We want to ensure food security, and that is why African Bank, in partnership with Sparkle Bank, is drawing a grant worth $5 billion to Africa and by extension to Nigeria. And Nigeria will be the first country that will benefit from this first batch.
Our agricultural sector in Nigeria is seriously dying, and we need to do something as fast as possible to ensure food security in this country. And if nothing is done, then we have ourselves to blame in the nearest future. Our government today has abandoned agricultural sector in this country. And as far as I'm concerned, the wealth, the progress of this country is in the bush. So what we are doing now is to prepare our people at the grassroots to really go there. What the government cannot do, we can do it.
Of money is what is the bane of our farmers in Nigeria, particularly in Southwest. As I'm talking to you now, I have lost more than 1.5 acres of my yam farmland to weeds because I don't have enough money to buy chemical. Because I'm a retiree, we expect the new administration to give us grants so that we excel in our farming activities.
They want to give a grant to all our farmers because some of our farmers nowadays, they cannot be able to buy ordinary cutlass or to buy ordinary herbicide for their farming. But now, when this African come, they don't want to produce everything for us freely in Nigeria, especially in Osun.
The Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, said that his government would commit more resources to ensure all out-of-school children in the state return back to school. Governor Sanwo-Olu also emphasized the need to collaborate with stakeholders in the education sector to register more schools that will be monitored by the government in order to check how they are impacting on the students. The governor gave this indication on Tuesday at the opening section of the 2022 Lagos State Education Summit with the theme, Creating a Sustainable Fit-for-Purpose Education Model. Sanwo-Olu, who joined the event virtually, added that his administration has improved the learning environment and promised to do more in the coming years. In her address, the Commissioner for Education, Folashade Adefisayo, said that the need for Nigeria to take cognizance of a fit-for-purpose education model become imperative in order to protect the future of the country. Adefisayo mentioned that Nigeria has myriad of problems that needed to be resolved in the education sector, stressing that the summit was organized to find solutions to some of the challenges. The guest speaker at the summit, the Vice Chancellor of Pan-African University, Abuja, Professor Enase Okonedo, expressed a thought on the dynamics and the method of teaching while emphasizing on project-based learning in the schools.
Education happens to be, on year, one of the only few sectors that has to continue to receive an increment in budgetary allocations, both at the capital expenditure and also with the recurrent expenditure. And for us, that speaks volume, and it speaks to the reality of where we find ourselves as a government. I'm hoping that this summit, which has a very apt theme, creating a sustainable fit-for-purpose educational model.
We took our learning process digital and are now leveraging technology to teach through the impressive ECO Excel program, improving the teaching process, including teacher-student collaboration.
It may include the development of understanding, rationality, kindness, and honesty. And therefore, as I saw this, I thought this is interesting. I have always advocated for value-based education because I think that the education of a person goes beyond educating the person in knowledge. We need character, we need values in order that we will be able to lead and lead effectively.
The Deputy Senate President, Huve Omoagege, has disclosed that the National Assembly NEST is committed to making laws that encourage private enterprises and further grow the nation's creative sector. He lamented that despite being a leader in raw content production in Africa, Nigeria is not doing enough to monetize them either through production, distribution, or royalty collection. Speaking at the Nigerian Electronic Media Content Exhibition and Award, The country is not doing enough to monetize them either through production, distribution, or royalty collection. On a part, the president of MCOAN, Mrs. Jibe Ologe, noted that NEMSIA is a very important and strategic media content event which brings together global stakeholders in the media industry within and outside Nigeria to buy, sell, collaborate, aggregate, exchange ideas on content, and also bring to fore issues and perspective bordering on the media industry in Nigeria in particular and across Africa as a whole. We'll go on a quick break to bring you foreign report. Please stay with us. This is Mitv News at 6. Now to foreign stories. Singapore has announced new work visa rules to world-talented foreigners as it gathers momentum to strengthen its recovery from COVID-19 pandemic. The Asian Financial Hub added that it will commence January next year. Report says the measures have a new 5-year visa for people earning at least $30,000 a month that permits holders to seek jobs for multiple companies at one time and grants their spouses eligibility to work. Singapore, a popular location for foreign firms to base their regional headquarters, tightly controlled its borders during the pandemic. This led to many expatriates leaving and its population dropped for the first time in almost 2 decades. The city-state manpower minister Tan Sin Leng told a news conference that the country cannot leave any room for investors to doubt or have questions as to whether Singapore remains open. He added that as a country with little or no resources, talent is the only resource, and talent acquisition is an offensive strategy for Singapore. The process and time for employment passes typically granted to high-paid professionals will also be immediately reduced to 10 days. Things are rapidly changing inside Baghdad's Green Zone, where al-Sadr supporters had camped out for more than a month outside Parliament. Reports said al-Sadr supporters have started upon his instructions dismantling tents they have set up for over a month now. A postdoctoral research assistant at Lancaster University, Ruba Ali Al-Asana, said she was not surprised to hear Muqtada al-Sadr ordering his supporters to withdraw from the Green Zone. Al-Asani said the speech was to an extent laughable because it keeps on denying his responsibility in everything that has transpired over the last 24 hours. Al-Sadr is planning to demonstrate again and again, with Al-Asani called the psychological tool of his leverage over his peers. She said, noted that he was unpredictable to a great extent, which gives him power over his counterparts. An Israeli court has sentenced the former Gaza representative of a major United States-based Christian agency to 12 years in prison on allegations of sending money to the Palestinian armed movement Hamas. Mohammed al-Halabi, former head of operations at World Vision in Gaza, was sentenced by Beersheba District Court on Tuesday, which ruled that he would serve another 6 years in addition to the 6 he has already spent in prison. The court convicted al-Halabi in June on charges of sending millions of dollars to Hamas, which governs the besieged Gaza Strip, an accusation he and his lawyer have consistently denied. Al-Halabi's lawyer reiterated his claim of innocence following Tuesday's sentencing. On the contrary, he proved in the court above any reasonable doubt that he made sure that no money will be given directly to Hamas. According to Hannah, if al-Halabi, a father of 5, had admitted to wrongdoings, he would have been released. French top administrative court has given the green light for the expulsion to Morocco of an imam accused of hate speech, according to Interim Minister Gerald Damain. Azan Eko Sen will be expelled from the national territory in a great victory for the Republic. Damain wrote on Twitter, citing Tuesday's ruling by the Council of State. The case landed before the highest court after Paris judges blocked the imam's deportation, which the Interior Ministry ordered in late July over especially virulent anti-Semitic speech and sermons calling for women's submission to men. The Question 58 reaches tens of thousands of subscribers via YouTube and Facebook account from his home in northern France. He was born in France but owes Moroccan citizenship. His lawyer successfully applied to the Paris court for a block on the order, saying it would create disproportionate harm to his private and family life. And up next is Sport Stories. Please stay with us. You're still watching MITV News at 6, now to Sports Stories. 2 weeks coaching clinic for kids. Badminton expert charge parent on talent discovery. For chairman of the badminton section of the Ikoyi Club 1938, Jetson Nwakwo, have said engaging the younger ones through sport remains the only way to reawaken the consciousness of their minds and also discover the next generation of talent for the country. Nwakwe, who made this disclosure at the completion of a 2 weeks holiday badminton coaching clinic in Lagos, said with quality facilities to aid the growing process of kids through sport, Nigeria will compete favorably at any international competition. On his part, Nigeria's badminton player at the 2022 Tokyo Olympic Games, Nwakwe Okweyore, pointed that sporting activities to discover talented kids at younger age remains the only avenue to keep them active and fit, while also highlighting the health benefits and importance attached to it. Nwakwe urged parents to give their children opportunities to discover their talent and sport at an early age, adding that academics and sport can be combined to give the younger generation a great future.
Is right here. The #1 champion of Nigeria and Africa, right here too, as a coach to the children. So they're imparting into them what they should have to be champions. It's not a yearly event. They will be able to be practicing weekly. And with that, you see, the boys that played today, I was fascinated. The level of which they have reached. So with this consistency, and remember I told you, we have the experts right here. We're not just using anyhow technical crew. We are using the best technical crew. So we are very hopeful that come 5 years, these boys will play in state and national games.
The future is bright for them because they are actually interested in the game and they are happy playing the game. So I think with them, they can actually participate more in the program that they are going to organize here. I think the federation is open to everybody as far as they can participate in the tournament. So they are just welcome whenever there's a national tournament or state tournament. They are welcome to participate in the tournament, and I think that is the best they can actually offer them, because they are there to give players the opportunity to showcase their talent.
I won't take badminton as a career because it's relaxing and fun, and it's also very educative because it's just a game that you don't have to put in too much energy, but you also have to put in your brain to understand the whole skills and the whole complex thing behind it, because it doesn't put too much energy, but also any simple mistake can make you lose a point. So that's why
I was taught to how to serve, how to smash, how to drop, and other essential things needed to play this sport. I think it was a very amazing experience for me, and I loved it very much.
After a 9-0 mauling at the ends of Liverpool, AFC Bournemouth have sacked their manager, Scott Parker. The club made the announcement on Tuesday morning via a statement on its website. Parker becomes the first manager to be shown the exit door in the 2022-23 season, with just 4 games in. The statement from the club says AFC Bournemouth has parted company with head coach Scott Parker. According to the statement, the club would like to place on record its gratitude to Scott and his team for their effort during their time with them. The club promotion back to the Premier League last season under Parker's tenure will always be remembered as one of the most successful seasons in the club history. The club also announced that Gary O'Neill will take interim charge of the team and will be assisted by Sean Cooper and Tommy Elphick. And that's it on MRTV News at 6. Join us again tonight for our primetime news at 9:30 p.m. I am Teresa Adeyemi. Do enjoy the rest of our programs. Good evening. We're back at Biggie!